Maybe she's got a problem with men.
Thank you for dropping by, Lieutenant. Careful you don't get carpet burns on your knuckles. I used to hear the same crap when I was on the track team at UT. Assumption.
Granted.
See what fury Hastings was capable of.
Those complaints were blown out of proportion. The witness...
IA pegged her as some kind of castrating lesbo-Nazi.
Yeah, right. Because she don't run like a girl. And if she did, they'd say she's too soft for the job.
A report, she scratched up Pelham's face.
If she did that, no.
You must have some idea how she felt about him.
We talked about our kids. About the job.
Permission from Pelham's parents to pull his medical files.
Fingernails to a 38 too big a leap?
It'd help convince me if she inflicted some other damage in between.
Assuming he'd report it. Anything in the autopsy?
There was a healed cut on his upper back. Origin unknown. I'm not finding any paperwork on it.
Did you check for medical insurance payments?
I have that file here somewhere. Thanks. Okay, flu shot, sinusitis. Here, payment for medical service to Corona Methodist Hospital Trauma Center. No details for $1,200.
Pelham, nasty laceration below the right scapula. Took 14 stitches.
What happened?
He said he tripped in the shower.
You suspect otherwise?
One cut, no glass fragments in the wound. You walk through a glass door, you're gonna have multiple jagged lacerations.
So you just took his word for it?
And the word of the two cops who brought him in.
Do you have their names?
Admitting what?
We're out on patrol. Officer DePani worked with Marissa Hastings on the Bronx trick-or-treat squad 2 years ago.
Nice of her to mention it.
Yeah, well, maybe she didn't want me getting the wrong idea. Okay, here we go. The 116's muster sheet for the night of the accident. DePani and Cass left the precinct at 10:28.
What time did Hastings call for help?
Blood shows she called the precinct 6 minutes earlier.
Friend in need.
Look, you want to try for 4? I didn't do anything. Being friends with Marissa Hastings just isn't paying off for you.
Is that what Pelham told his buddy boys?
Right now, that's the only story going.
When we got to the house, her blouse was...
For someone else. It was his first time. He screwed up. He's on 15-day suspension. Meanwhile, one officer's dead and another's charged with murder.
Some crack.
No heroes here. Have we tendered an offer?
I might consider man one, but the ball is in their court.
Man 1. She shoots him in cold blood, and you're absolving the poor weak thing from her responsibility.
If the police... How severe was the abuse?
Severe. Effects?
Did she think her life was in danger from Pelham?
Yeah, absolutely.
Imminent danger? She's conceding the obvious.
Unless she admits killing Pelham, I can't see you cutting her any slack. Neither will the jury.
How about off the job? Did they socialize much?
Some weekends.
Anything without the family, just the two of them? The night Officer Pelham was...
Maybe he used his cell phone? Not real. Fox's articles affected the deliberate.
Fox's calls.
And then took a shot at Fox to scare him off.
So, officially...
Hageman, I'm just looking for background.
I've been around the block a few times, Miss Carmichael.
Should I be?
Well, Rebecca Hampton wasn't the first girlfriend.
Decide what Fox wrote in his column.
Oh, her son testified.
I'm the prosecutor. You're supposed to be the defense lawyer.
Well, you had to be there, Miss Carmichael.
Said he was looking for the man that killed my daughter. I told him to look in Sing Sing.
Why did he call you?
My grandchildren aren't listed. Imagine he thought I would help.
And how did they react? Is it possible there was someone besides Franchetta who wanted to kill your daughter?
Me. Like
Maybe there was a jealous ex-boyfriend who didn't like her seeing Franchetta?
any man dating girls.
Didn't you think it was worth mentioning to the police?
Andrew told me not to.
Why? Anything to the theory that Johnny Franchetta didn't kill your mother?
No.
It's possible the wrong person was convicted for your mother's murder. Gerald Fox admits that he made that up.
You can't be better.
A criminal investigation is not a private matter.
I'm gonna call my...
Why didn't you tell the detectives that you knew Gerald Fox was looking into your mother's case? To be honest, Mr. Hampton, it looks suspicious. You were Tuesday morning around 7 a.m.?
I was on...
Did you stop on the way? Maybe pick up a paper, a cup of coffee? Come in for a lineup, I'll stop asking questions. Nicole was a problem?
Rebecca Jr. Inappropriate boyfriends, alcohol.
When was this?
I'm not sure. I mean, Nicole...
We think your brother shot Gerald Fox.
We talked to your old boyfriend, Bennett Wainwright. He was a bartender at the Dragon's Tail.
Slaughter on the Fox shooting. We'll package it up with the other matter.
The Rebecca Hampton murder?
He gives him a motive for shooting Fox. So where was he?
Not where was he, where was she? A uniform stationed at the door of the building.
What time was Nicole Hampton logged in?
She wasn't. Here.
I missed her 20 years ago.
Maybe they...
There was such a media frenzy about Johnny Franchetta, no one ever looked. So much for keeping it low-key.
This woman killed her mother. Let an
A
innocent...
statute of limitations on unreported sexual offenses against minors. You raped Nicole Hampton.
Talk to us, Mr.
Sexual relationship with a 15-year-old. My dearest Johnny, I think about you more now that you're not here. The way you used to touch my body with your strong hands. Still nothing we can do about it. That thing Andrew said at your trial about pointing the gun at my mother.
Accomplice.
Andy was 17. Not a juvenile.
Andrew Hampton accepted our offer. Attempted man.
Well, hopefully his sister will be joining him. Toss her hair back a few times and convince them she didn't. Well, if that doesn't work, she could always give an interview to the Ledger. Disarranging?
The man has an anxiety attack. If and motive, I'm willing to answer whatever questions you want to ask me, but please.
Statute of limitations on kidnapping expired years ago.
Because
Professor Hollis saw him when she was in the diner. Went into the bookstore looking for him. Caught up with him somewhere between there and the subway. Established motive, means, and opportunity. Fallon lies like a rug. Hell, he's not even Fallon. Blindfolded, I could convince a jury he killed Marion Hollis to shut her up.
Have you checked out Dr. Tasca's story?
Yeah, bitter divorce. The kids were the rope in a tug-of-war. Court awarded custody to the mother. 3 months later, the husband took the kids out of school and disappeared with them. Keep her in sight?
of course not.
Do you know what perjury means? You weren't with him at all, were you? Oh, this is the spookiest bunch of people I've ever met.
That kid is terrified.
And lying through her teeth.
Whole family's afraid of inconveniencing her.
What's her name? Marianne Hollis. Did you see her with the girl?
Marion Hollis.
Does she want to take you to your mother? Maybe call the police? Is your father mad at you because you told us about the clothing store? She knew who he was and what he'd done.
She's ever known.
Mr. Fallon took her away from the only decision. It's in her best interest.
It's not
You can't stay with your father, Alexis.
because you're gonna...
He's mentioned a man and a woman. They didn't say anything about a young girl. We could lean on Fallon some more. Maybe his daughter's suffering. Fallon might as well have held a gun to his kids' heads. He inflicted the same level of fear.
Violated it.
You say, Mr.
We're covered.
Yes. Adam Schiff.
How many pills did Mr. Spector give you?
6.
Answers are short and sweet. Stay on point.
And where did this exchange occur? Which could be the whole point. I hate to sell out the sisterhood, but maybe she does rely on... Her last benefit was for the Make a Hoop Foundation. Just a dinner for $500.
We try to teach these kids you can jam, you can do anything. Just apply the same energy and...
The sky's the limit.
That's right.
As long as the funding holds out.
Ah, we've been blessed.
$7 million from the Spector Family Trust? I'd call that a miracle.
$2 million. But even so, we'll start with this leaky old roof.
2. Not 7?
4 installments of $500,000 each. Miss Ludlow was nice enough to move the second one forward so we could pay some salaries and all. Hey, attaboy, John.
You keep...
$5 million short from the Spector Family Trust, but Reverend Jenkins don't have much of one now, thanks to her. She was a ringer for Spector.
You really don't understand the first thing about me, do you? I wasn't going to wait for Julian to lay this little...
Cashed in your policy? To make it right, Miss Ludlow.